I was the guy she talked to about other guys. She'd sit across from me and tell me everything: how he didn't text back, how the other one ghosted after 2 weeks, how she kept ending up with people who made her feel invisible. And I'd listen, and I'd be there, and I'd think, eventually she'll notice who's right in front of her. She never noticed. Not because I wasn't good enough, but because I was signaling the wrong thing without knowing it. Not on purpose. Not because I was clueless. Because nobody ever told me what people actually respond to. It's not effort. It's not being nice. It's signals. And once I figured out which ones matter, everything changed. Here's what I learned. Attraction isn't about what you say. It's not about the right line at the right moment. It's about how you exist in a room. Your behavior broadcasts who you are before a single word leaves your mouth. Right now, you're sending signals. The question is, which ones? These 5 skills shape those signals. Together, they answer 3 questions your crush is asking about you without even realizing it. Can I relax with this person? Can I respect this person? And can I trust this person with my feelings? If your behavior quietly says yes to all 3, words become almost secondary. And no, these aren't tactics. These are behaviors that reveal who you are when you stop trying to be someone. 1. Calm presence. I used to rush everything, reply instantly, fill every silence, laugh at the gap between sentences just so the air wouldn't feel empty. I thought speed showed interest. It shows the opposite. Speed signals anxiety, stillness signals wait. When she asks you something and you don't know the answer yet, wait. Let the moment breathe for 2 seconds. You don't have to react on command. You're not a search engine, you're a person. Let your presence arrive before your words do. Researchers call it behavioral stillness, and people read it unconsciously as a marker of emotional stability. Slow, deliberate movement reads as trustworthy, not because it looks powerful, because it says, I'm not in a hurry, you have my full attention. And it's not just in person. The same thing happens over text. Firing off 6 messages in a row, typing, deleting, dropping paragraph after paragraph, it doesn't read as I care. It reads as I'm spiraling. One clear message, then space, signals. I meant what I said. I'm not chasing your attention. I'm inviting a real response. You know that person who walks into a room and everything slows down a beat? That's not confidence, that's presence. And it's the first thing your crush will feel about you before she ever thinks about it. 2. Have your own mind. I used to agree with everything. She liked a movie, I liked it too. She had an opinion, wow, same here. I thought alignment meant connection. It means comfort, not attraction. Here's what I do now. If she says a movie was incredible and I thought it was flat, I'll say so. Not to argue, not to perform independence, just, I saw it completely differently. A smile, no tension, and then my version. Why does this work? Because disagreeing without making it a fight communicates 3 things at once. I think for myself. I'm not afraid of your reaction. And I'm here as a real person, not a mirror. 90% of people she meets will nod along. Be the one who doesn't. Not because you're trying to be difficult. Because you're actually not difficult, you're just honest. And that's rare enough to be magnetic. You know what's more memorable than a nice conversation? A conversation where someone actually pushed back gently and made you think. That person stays with you. Be that person. 3. Make someone feel truly seen. This is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's the most powerful. Most people listen to respond. You need to listen to understand. When she tells you something, don't just clock the facts. Catch the feeling underneath them. She says it was fine, but her voice drops half an octave. That's your moment. Not, oh, it'll be okay, but that didn't sound fine. What's actually going on? Psychologists call this perceived understanding, the sense that someone gets you without you having to explain everything twice. And research shows it triggers one of the deepest forms of emotional bonding we have. Deeper than compliments, deeper than attention, deeper than gifts. How do you actually do this? Break it into 3 small moves. 1. Notice the shift in her voice, her face, her posture. 2. Name what you sense gently. That didn't sound fine. 3. Stay quiet and hold the space while she answers. Most people rush in with advice or jokes. You don't. You stay. That tiny difference is what makes you feel completely different from everyone else. And here's the part the play hard to get crowd never understood. The most powerful form of being missed doesn't come from absence. It comes from a presence so rare that it's not normal. Someone who sees you while everyone else is just looking, that's what stays with you. You want her to think about you when you're not there? Then be someone she doesn't encounter every day. Not because you disappear, because you show up in a way nobody else does. 4. Eye contact that says I'm here. I used to break eye contact constantly. Looked away, looked down, looked at my phone. It felt safer, but looking away says, I'm not sure I belong in this moment. Here's what I learned. Hold eye contact 2 seconds longer than feels natural. When she's talking, look at her eyes, not the screen in your hand. When there's a pause, hold the gaze, let a small smile settle, then look away. Not a staring contest. A quiet, I'm with you. I'm not somewhere else. Neuroscience shows that sustained eye contact activates the brain's social reward system, the same regions that light up during deep interpersonal connection. It sends a signal of familiarity and presence that words alone can never reach. Try it the next time you're on a date. When she's talking, put your phone face down and out of reach. Listen, hold her eyes while she finishes her sentence, and then pause for a beat. Let your answer arrive and only then speak. You'll notice something strange. Her stories get longer, she opens up more. And your crush, she won't clock it consciously, but she'll feel it. Something will shift in the space between you, and she won't be able to name why. That's the point. 5. Emotional grounding. Here's what leave first was trying to say and failing. The idea behind leaving first was, show you're not desperate. Show independence. But that's the shallowest version of a much deeper truth. What actually draws people in? Emotional stability when things get uncomfortable. Because she will test you. Not on purpose, not maliciously. But at some point she'll say something provocative. Challenge you, push a button she didn't even know she was pushing. And what do most people do? React, get defensive, pull back, fire back. Emotional grounding means you stand there, you breathe. You don't respond from impulse, you respond from choice. Maybe you say, interesting way to put that. Maybe you just let the moment sit before you answer. Either way, you're not running. Research on emotional regulation shows that people who respond slowly and deliberately under stress are perceived as more trustworthy, more secure, and yes, more attractive. The amygdala screams. The prefrontal cortex says, wait, think, respond, don't react. And she feels it. Someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't explode, doesn't leave, just stays. And in a world where everyone is either performing or retreating, someone who stays is the rarest thing on this list. 5 skills, no tricks, no games. Just one question you have to sit with. Are you showing who you are or who you think you're supposed to be?